Council of Three Rivers American Indian Center. The funds come from the Department of Health and Human Services and will specifically invest in the center's Early Head Start program, which serves children ages 0 to 3 in the Native American community and other historically marginalized and underserved groups in Western PA. Ethel Jean E.J. Brigade Bonder of Lower Burrell, Pennsylvania, was born on February 29, 1932. She technically turns 23 today. Others say that she's turning 92, but she's a leap year baby. The Gregorian calendar is based on 365.25 days, the amount of time it takes for the Earth to orbit the Sun, according to NASA. Most years, the calendar is rounded off every fourth year. An extra day is added in February for accuracy. And law enforcement agencies, civil defense officials, and election administrators are meeting in Pennsylvania to coordinate against election threats with the presidential contest 8 months away. Governor Josh Shapiro's administration said Thursday that he's created the Pennsylvania Election Threats Task Force. The state became a magnet for baseless allegations about election fraud and failed lawsuits in an effort to undo Democrat Joe Biden's 2020 victory and keep then-President Donald Trump in power. The task force's mission is to design plans to share information and coordinate in the fight against threats to the election process, voter intimidation, and misinformation about voting and elections. Partners include federal, county, and state officials.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
A chilly start to the morning, but we will see sunshine throughout the day, a high near 40. Tonight, clear and cold with a low of 27. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, we'll see a high near 55. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Thursday, February the 29th of 2024, at 35 after 11, we've got a temperature of 32 degrees with mostly cloudy skies in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Curtis Walsh on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Have you had a nice leap day so far, Curtis?
Yeah, it's been nice. I've been enjoying it.
We only get one every 4 years.
Yeah.
So
I was looking forward to it, and it's shaping up to be everything I thought it would be.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Curtis Walsh, ladies and gentlemen, not wanting to say out loud, today we're having technical issues, and there are people here fixing technical issues. And the problem with that, as it relates to Curtis is basically the only one here that understands all of the technical issues. So you've tried to do news today. You've been dragged in about 100 different directions.
Yeah. Something like that.
You're showing pride. Nice short. Hey, Tady, I can only stall so long.
Oh, I don't know where we're on.
Yeah, we changed the time. Thank you, Curtis. You owe Curtis $1 because I dragged him in. Now, I'm not turning your mic on yet. I looked up. Let me get the camera. Curtis, thank you. Scott Tady joins me now. I'm going to make sure to put your name, the graphic of your name, right in the middle of your forehead.
Ooh.
Well, you were in here.
You guys were doing news. I didn't want to interrupt the news.
You were in here for a second, and then you scurried away.
I was working the room.
All right. A little crowd work. Is that what we were doing? How you doing?
Always good when I see you.
I did. I looked up, and it's like, I know. He was here. I'm not having hallucinations. Scott Tady at the Beaver County Times. You came into the studio, and then I'm assuming you went to the necessary room. There you go. And here you are. Can I ask you about Jelly Roll first?
Sure, why not?
Because you had an article on Jelly Roll among your other articles, and we'll get to all of them. I'm not being critical. I love that guy. Mm-hmm. Why do I love that guy?
I think it was genius. He came up with a simple song idea asking, why do I only pray when I'm in trouble?
Need a favor.
It was that basic, and I think so many people just register with that. I get that. That's me. I understand that. And it was as basic as that. So then people started exploring his other lyrics, and they're very earthy, down the home. This is, I know what this guy's thinking. Maybe I don't always agree with him, but I've been there. And Relatable, yes. Yeah. It's not written by a room of 4 people in 3 different cities like, we see for some of these
Zoom
pop
meetings
songs.
To discover or to decide the chorus.
This is heartfelt. And Jelly Roll, he's a guy, he had some legal trouble. He did some jail time. And then so it kind of goes back to like the Johnny Cash days where, we believe this person's singing emotional songs because they lived them. They've been there,
but
done
Johnny,
that.
you see, that was a load of hooey. Johnny did a little time, but Merle Haggard
Hard Time.
was the guy that did
Yeah.
Hard Time.
That's true. And then Johnny Cash inspired him. Earl Haggard went to see him in what California prison was it? San Quentin, I believe.
I believe it was Folsom.
Folsom, was it? Okay.
San Quentin, maybe it was San Quentin. I
One
don't
of those
know.
two is kind of how we got another Mount Rushmore figure in country music.
I'm
'Cause-
proud to know not all of the prisons in California. I know a few of them. Pelican Bay.
but Indiana wants you, I hear.
That's where Mike Tyson did his time.
I did not know that.
Absolutely. When Mike Tyson went to prison, he did time. It's not a nice place. Maryville, maybe?
Isn't that a song, Indiana Wants Me?
Yes.
And I knew you were from Indiana, so I was kind of tying that all together there.
I appreciate the
Play
thread.
it on the Beaver later. I want to hear that song.
Indiana Wants Me?
Yes.
No. Hey, isn't it? Who sang it? It's a Jackson 5 or something. And then
I thought it was a one-hit wonder.
forgive us while we just go completely off the deep end on something that's got nothing to do with anything. How much do you buy in? Well, still talking about Jelly Roll. I see him making appearances in front of congressional committees about fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
I see him playing jails again, the Johnny Cash thing. How much of that should I buy, and how much of that should I go? That's part of the gig. I want to buy it.
Yeah, it's always good to have a little skepticism, but so far he's checked all the boxes. I got to see him at Rivers Casino do a show, and it was one of those stripped down acoustic, 5 guys sitting on different stools and twanging away, and everything he said between songs seemed honest, heartfelt. He was very conscientious of the other performers on stage, a couple up-and-comers, a couple local singers, including a guy, Frank Vieira. So the Fat Jelly Roll was making sure to credit them, and I like that. There seemed to be a let's spread the love around, not I'm the biggest star in the room right now, gawk at me.
Indiana Wants Me, R. Dean Taylor.
There you go.
Except he can't go back there because he's a wanted man.
Oh.
You know who else is from Indiana?
Irony, besides Larry Bird, no, who?
Yes, Larry Bird, the guy that went to IU until they wouldn't put his name on the back of the jersey.
Michael Jackson from Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana. That's where I got confused with the Jackson 5. James Dean.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yes,
from
yes.
I mean, 8-9 houses is what the town is.
Shelley Long of Cheers was from
Jim Gaffigan.
who just announced he's coming to Pittsburgh. It all ties in.
It all circles in.
How about that Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, John Mellencamp show announced?
Again, Indiana guy. Mellencamp, right outside of Bloomington.
He promised us in a song he would be buried there, so we're going to hold him up to that, I think.
It's easy. Everything's flat. You ain't going to hit no rocks.
But you got to wait till April till the ground thaws.
While we're talking about acts known for their origin and region, do you have any birthday wishes for Donnie?
I can't wait to see Donnie Iris back on stage March 16th, UPMC Event Center. I texted him a happy birthday, and he got back to me like in 6 minutes.
How many texts did he get, you think?
Hundreds. I mean, so many. And everyone's sharing their pictures on social media. How many pictures did you see of Donnie Iris with his
dear
arm around
Lord.
people on Facebook today and
Oh,
yesterday?
my goodness. I saw people with pictures of Donnie that don't even have pictures as a profile shot.
And some of those photos were pre-cell phone photos. Those are like Polaroids people were pulling up.
Somebody holding up a... Who got more texts, Donnie for his birthday or Bill Hillgrove right now because he announced his retirement? That's in Pittsburgh. That ain't sports.
Saw that.
That's entertainment.
Long-time sports legend. Yeah, how about that? It's going to be. Did they announce who's going to replace?
I haven't seen anything about that. How do you follow those shoes?
Him and Myron Cope as a team was just one for the ages.
I had no idea. I thought Myron, how do I say this? I thought the first time I heard Myron, I didn't hear Myron growing up here. I heard Myron on the old John Facenda play-by-play NFL Steel. I'm like, who is that guy? Is that really? And then you get here and you're like, okay, now I get it. They will embrace you if you embrace them. And you know this as well as I do. You can be really good looking and have a really good voice. That don't mean that they're going to buy you as a TV person or a movie person.
Acquired taste. We saw it with Harry Carey in Chicago. I'm sure that wouldn't have played everywhere, right?
The man that lost his job in St. Louis for having an affair with the owner's wife.
Ouch.
You got to give him credit.
Well, there's stories about Bob Prince, too, back in the day.
There's audio on Bob Prince.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, there is. I'm not even going to broach that. What's the most exciting concert you got coming up? Is it the Willie Nelson?
There's a Japanese punk band called Otoboke Beaver playing Spirit. All female Japanese punk is just such a great genre to see. It's just fun. It's just like a bunch of 2.5 minute songs and the enthusiasm.
Okay. That's punk.
It's what punk used to be. And
is it?
Yeah. It's a place called Spirit in Lawrenceville. But other than that, there's some interesting ones. Trombone Shorty tomorrow. His star is really rising. This is the guy, New Orleans jazz trumpeter, who kind of adds a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of jazz. It's just a melting pot of music with that trombone of his.
It's more than just Maynard Ferguson.
Yeah, safe to say.
He's got chops that go deeper and more interesting than that.
You'll like this Saturday. I'm going to check out Wayne Newton. Never saw him.
How have you never seen Wayne Newton?
I've been to Vegas, but just never timed it right, I guess. But Wayne doesn't come to Pittsburgh very often, and he's in Munhall this Saturday, so that'll be different, right?
You just touched on something I've been meaning to ask you. He didn't come to Pittsburgh often because he was always playing Vegas.
Right, he was the original residency Vegas guy.
What do you think about the residency? Is that a good idea? You two, how long was their residency in the Sphere? It was a month or 2 months.
Seemed a couple, yeah.
As a business model, that sounds like a good idea. You get to stay, and now, granted, you're away from home, but you're living in a luxury hotel. You're not on the road. Crowds are coming to you. Do you think it could squeeze out better performances? Is it more financially advantageous?
I think it makes sense. I'm reading more and more about people taking travel destinations to see concerts. I mentioned we did that to go to Red Rocks. People go to a city just for the concert, the way we used to travel for maybe a sporting event. So why not go to Sin City, one of the most exciting cities in the world, to see a band you happen to like? It's genius. I know 3 or 4 people who went to see Adele in Las Vegas. And there's an example. Adele has never played Pittsburgh since she's become famous. Why not go there? What you're also seeing with that Sphere is bands who announce they're done. No more touring. And then everyone kind of is sad. But then like Dead & Company, but we are going to do 2 months in Sphere.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see more and more of that. Bands that said we're off the road, we quit, we're done. But we don't mind staying in one city in a plush hotel, and you come to see us, and why not? It extends their career.
When you went to Red Rocks, how much of it was because you wanted to go to Red Rocks, and how much of it was, ooh, I like that band?
80% to see Red Rocks, although it was Robert Plant and Alison Krauss, so picked a winner at least. But it's just jaw-dropping beautiful there, and I would recommend anyone to fly out to Colorado to see a show.
Is there any venue that you say, I want to, and you haven't yet?
Austin City Limits. I am someone who grew up watching the Saturday night Austin City Limits on PBS, and every week I think this is the year I got to go do that. So one of these years. I mean, that show's been on since the 1980s. A weekly live, it's taped to live, but TV show and
easy.
Yeah,
that show introduced a lot of people to the Jimmy Bonds, the John Primes, the bluegrass stuff where they wouldn't otherwise have noticed it.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Texas people got their break on that show, and it seems like just a room that just loves music, and the fact you're seeing it recorded live or recorded for television, I don't know. It sounds like a special thing. How about you? What's your bucket list concert venue?
I've been to all of them. I'm interested in being.
There you go.
Okay, you know what? Maybe in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yeah.
A little Japanese all-girl punk band set up.
Well, you know what Warren Zevon said about the Eiffel Tower?
No.
It ain't that pretty at all. He has a whole song about Europe not being pretty.
He had lots of songs about a lot of things not being pretty.
Fair.
He is one of the few people that I have an autographed lithograph on my wall of that man.
Nice.
Just because he wrote a song using the word brucellosis, which Jim Gaffigan would know about. It's all full circle. It really is, Scott. Scott Tady at the Beaver County Times is my guest. We're doing what we do.
Do you wish that you had the support of a family in your financial institution? You can when you become a family member at Friendly Federal Credit Union. This is Cindy Haladio. During February, the month of showing love and appreciation, Friendly Federal Credit Union wants to show you how true it really is. If you haven't already, apply for membership at Friendly Federal Credit Union with offices in Ellicott and Baden. Enjoy low or no fees with your account, favorable terms and interest rates, and the added benefit of putting money back into your community. What are you waiting for? It's time for a family reunion. Join the thousands of other local people who are already part of the friendliest family in Beaver County. The member owners at the place that makes more sense for you. Friendly Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Friendly Federal Credit Union. You got a friend.
The Lenten season has arrived, and besides celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ, that means fish fry season in Beaver County. Go online to beavercountyradio.com and click on the Fish Fry Guide logo for a listing of fish fries in the area during Lent. If your group is having a fish fry, you can submit it by emailing bcr@beavercountyradio.com. The Beaver County Radio Fish Fry Guide is being brought to you by Our Lady of the Valley Parish Fish Fries, D&G Rentals, Town Square Restaurant, PJ's Deli and Catering, RS Belco, Gosnell's Auto Repair Service, and Beaver County Radio. When you talk about community involvement and safety, the name Fry stands at the forefront in Beaver County. Fry Transportation's mission is to continue to raise the bar as the gold standard in their industry by providing the safest, most reliable, and cost-efficient transportation service in Beaver County through their strong relationships with their communities, best-in-their-class drivers, equipment, and technology. There's nothing more important than the safety of their students, employees, and community members. Fry Transportation, where the quality of their organization is characterized by the makeup of the individual behind the wheel.
You're listening to Beaver County Radio, brought to you live from the Fry Transportation Studios. Beaver County Radio and Fry Transportation, a winning team, 99.3 FM and WBVP, providing news, sports, and information for 76 years.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
It is Teleforum. It is Thursday. On Thursdays, that's when Scott Tady comes and visits. Scott is the entertainment editor for the Beaver County Times. Follow him on Facebook. There's a lot of stuff on Facebook that Scott schools me up with. You got a video this week?
I do. Merrick Art Gallery in New Brighton. You know, they have a crowdfunding thing. They're raising money for that underground tunnel they discovered last year. But I went out and just shot the whole gallery. Do you know they have a piano there that Stephen Foster played?
No.
Yes, the great 1800s composer from Pittsburgh. He stayed in New Brighton a couple nights when there was a hotel, played the piano. All this artwork that dates back, some from the 1700s, is on display at a free art gallery in New Brighton. If you haven't been to the Merrick in a long time, get out there. I have a video online, tomsonline.com. It shows you some of the highlights of this really cool spot in downtown New Brighton.
You looking forward to concert season? Because you've done this 30, and we just heard the greatest jobs in the world can wear you out. Bill Hillgrove just retired. I think people would think, okay, Tady, you got a pretty good job. Do you ever go into a spring, because this is your spring training, kind of going into the summer festival? You ever look at it with less enthusiasm than the year before?
I'm looking forward to this one. And I think 'cause I'm being more flexible. I'm not just picking some obvious shows. Like I mentioned that Japanese punk band. There may be only 80 people at that show, but it's going to be an awesome show.
Hey. If there's 80 people at that, I'll buy you lunch. I'm taking the under on that.
But like, I'm picking my battles, I guess. Interesting. We kept talking about Zach Bryan, the country singer, and we were holding him up as an example of the guy fighting Ticketmaster, the guy going to make concert tickets affordable again.
Surge pricing.
His show sold out so fast, you can't get tickets. And so guess what? Now they're selling tickets for like Taylor Swift prices if you want to see this guy. He wrote a whole album titled something about all my homies hate Ticketmaster. Well, tickets are being sold on Ticketmaster. Another person, I think, tried to fight the good fight and lost.
Is that a monopoly?
Yes.
All right. I mean, and for people that don't know, explain it to them. The company that is Ticketmaster is also a whole lot of the venues. So if you're doing a show and you think, well, I won't use Ticketmaster, they can tell you, well, that's one of the venues we own, so you ain't playing there.
Exactly.
Happening a lot in Chicago right now.
But that's an example. In years past, I would kick myself, I might not be able to get a ticket for Zach Bryan. Oh, no, what do I do now? All right, I'll go see Jason Isbell that night, or I'll go see Taylor Dane that same night. So there's options. As long as you're seeing live music, you're in a good place.
Isbell's better anyway. He's from Northwest Alabama.
Good songwriter.
Yeah, very good songwriter. And now he's going to have the Broken Heart songs because he just announced. What do you need if you're a country singer? You need a truck that don't run and a woman that do.
And Amanda was in his band, the great fiddle player. So not only does he lose a spouse, he loses his great fiddle player. So.
Is Fleetwood Mac the worst in history where songs are being written and played about the people standing next to each other on stage?
They made it work. That was the best part when they would do Silver Spring and Stevie Nicks doing that whole song, looking at Lindsey Buckingham doing this song about how
Glaring.
I want to stab you in the neck for breaking up with me. And you could just feel Lindsey, the pain he endured every 5-minute time they played that song.
A gig's a gig, man. You got to show up.
They made millions, billions out of that, though. At least they took their heartbreak and then they channeled it into something smart.
What should I have asked you that I didn't ask you? Oh, can you get me Jelly Roll tickets?
How many do you need? 6?
Dude,
Just kidding. Just kidding.
You just turned into the Who Need Two guy over on the north side.
Who's the guy in from California, the Spicoli movie?
Damone.
Fast Times at Ridgemont
Mike
High.
Damone.
Yeah, he's the guy that all the ticket hookups, right?
And the excitement of Robin Zanda.
Cheap Trick,
yeah. Hey, when you needed tickets, I got you tickets. So close, you probably scared the band.
Iconic.
I don't remember my zip code, but I remember lines from a movie that came out when I was like 13. Thank you for pointing out the holes in my Swiss cheese brain there, Scott.
That's why I'm here.
Anything else?
Look, next week in the Times.
There's always one more. I know when I ask you. Anything else?
I got an interview with Beaver County's Broadway star, Amber Ardolino. We'll talk about that next week. I've been trying literally for 2 years to get her on the phone.
When does it become stalking, man?
She emailed me. She's in the Neil Diamond Broadway musical right now. She plays Neil Diamond's wife, the muse of Neil Diamond. This is a Beaver County woman, a Lincoln Park grad.
I was about to ask you. It's like another Lincoln Park success story.
Count on that.
Scott Tady of the Beaver County Times. Good to see you again, my friend.
You too.
It is Teleforum.
Can the card you carry really change